Hello, everyone. So I'm sitting here with vinyl gloves and a thing of petroleum jelly. Don't get the wrong idea. I also have epoxy sculpt. I haven't used these in a while, so hopefully it's still good. So he doesn't look much different. What I discovered as I was sanding is so he only has so thick of a shell, you could say, of a supporting wall. And I was worried about sanding down too much. Also, much of these grooves will be filled in with a primer coat. So I decided to wash the dust off and focus today on puttying the back so I can get that more smooth and working on giving him some teeth. So in order to use that, I visit my reliable old epoxy sculpt. Now epoxy is a two-part putty that air dries. It's really wonderful. It's not super. Ooh, this part's kind of tough. This might be a little difficult. It's not super toxic, though I do suggest you wear gloves because it's not very good for your skin. And yeah, you basically take these two parts. And this is kind of an old tub, so I'm hoping that it still works. If not, I guess I might have to buy some new one. But if I kind of dig in the middle there. Okay. The petroleum jelly is to smooth it. So basically I just knead it together like this. Here we go. My favorite awkward memory when I was living in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. I was going to the Rite Aid. I was working on model kits. I used to do these professionally for a dear late friend who was an insane collector. And I had two things I needed to buy: petroleum jelly for this and a screwdriver. So I'm sitting in line with a screwdriver and petroleum jelly and telling my friend, no, seriously, it's for model kits. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to put too much of this on my finger. I'm just going to just enough to give it a little more. If I put too much in it, it won't dry. It'll stay kind of sticky. I want to put just enough in it. So the first thing I'm going to do is just take a very thin kind of blob of it, and I'm working it on back of his neck here. Now most of this is going to get sanded down. That'll be much easier to sand down the ridges. But it's to try and give him a little bit of a smoother head. It was better that I had him built this way. If I had him built that way, I would have more work I need to do on the face. The face, literally and figuratively. So as I'm doing this, I did want to let you know the story is coming along pretty well. I have some pretty cool reveals coming up. I've already written my two grisly deaths, really for more story reasons. That's why they're earlier in the story, as you will see when you read it. But the things I'm doing with the face are, I like to think unlike anything anyone has ever done with a character before. He's typically been more of an urban crime fighter type. He's been Tony Trent. I know they did some kind of weird things at Dynamite Comics they called him Mr. Face. But my take on it is very different. And so when you read Face the Fear, I don't think you're going to recognize the face. I don't want to spoil anymore. Okay, so, but yeah, I just did a great scene with Jay Blackrope that I'm really proud of. But I really love that guy. He is one of my favorites. He comes pretty naturally to me, not as naturally as Lee Fine or even Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn's so much fun to write. Okay, so this is going to be trial and error. That mouth only gives me so much room. And originally I was thinking of building the bottom row of teeth but I don't know how easy that's going to work, or how well that's going to work, or how much of a point there is to it, because there's so much space here. The problem with this head is I have very little room to maneuver. So you know what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to shove this in here, and here we go. Get this tool, give him a bit more there. That might actually, I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference. That's going to give me a little something more to work with if I decide to. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to build just his top row of teeth. So like, you know, in elementary school, make a snake with your, with your Play-Doh. That's going to, kind of working it in like that. See, kind of working that in. They don't look much like teeth right now. Okay, that's my good knife. Trusty old Illy coffee can. Okay, and so this is what I have right now. I don't know how well you can see that. There's a little putty. So I'm just going to kind of use this knife, kind of flatten it a bit. Okay, and you know, I've got some excess in there. I'm just going to kind of move it out with the knife. And I'm trying to make sure that he still has an upper lip. So I'm just scraping it away from here. Yeah, there we go. So I'm kind of scraping it away from there. Okay, I know it's a little overexposed. So really it's a matter right now of just trying to push this into the contours. I don't know entirely how well this is going to work. I have limited space with which to work. So see, he's kind of got some teeth going there. It's so hollow looking because, well, it is hollow. And it's the light's just kind of going through. So he's got his upper row of teeth. I'm going to look at my own teeth. Just kind of slowly sculpt it. And I'm hoping that this comes out pretty cool. I've never really had to build teeth on a character before. They've always been closed-mouthed. And so I think much of the challenge with this is the digital sculpt was meant for an action figure, a smaller figure, not like a full-size, well, this isn't quite a full-size bust, but unless the face is really tiny. Okay, I gave it up. The face is like 3 inches tall with this. No, so I'm just trying to give him naturalistic enough teeth. The thing is, I can't make it but so detailed because of the size. All right. So he has teeth, and he's going to need some fangs. So again, the fangs, I'm just going to try and get them in here one at a time. So I think I alluded to this in Face the Night. The mask doesn't have fangs. And this is a little bit of a hint of where I'm going. I tried to allude to some supernatural happenings with the face, but we don't know for sure. So I wanted to make Tony seem like more than just a man in a mask. So I've got one fang right there. And I follow up with that in in Face the Fear. There's also a very specific reason why it's called Face the Fear, as you will find out when you read it. But I'm really excited for it. I have to say, a lot of the challenge has been sort of starting fresh with a new character. Now I'm working off of, you know, a storyline I started, and, you know, so it's really, it's a continuation of what's come before, but it's also really an extension of another, of a character. And so to have a completely new character pop up, it can be a challenge, because you want to make sure the tone of the story matches that character and serves them well, that they fit into that world. All right, so my work here is pretty much done. I have to give him some eyeballs, actually, so it's not done, but let me move this. Okay. And I think I got Vaseline on the lens. Awesome. I feel like a disco king. Whoa. Okay, well, dag nabbit. All right, that's much better. That's much better. Okay, so next up, his eyes are hollow sockets, which, I mean, that's actually pretty damn scary. But I'm going to give him a little, I'm going to give him some eyeballs. So that's really just a matter of, okay, that's not enough. That's not enough. All right, let me pop that out. It's a matter of just kind of trying to have not too much putty. Just enough. And there we go. That's part of it. So he's got one eye. I'm going to neaten this up after it dries. So if this is a thing with this putty, is that it you know, it usually dries overnight, and once it's actually dry, it's pretty easy to go in and kind of work with it a bit, kind of clean it up, you know, take like even a nail and, you know, kind of you know, smooth it out a bit, give it some more edges. So what I'm doing right now is a little scrappy, because it's more about just getting that putty in there, being able to work through with it later. This one's coming in pretty cool because I'm like really pushing it back down in there. So I might go back and do the same. Much of this is trial and error, and just kind of hoping and praying that it all just comes out to exactly how you want it. Okay. So the face it's going to need a little work, and I'm going to do that kind of without the camera, because we've already gone on 13 minutes. So he has, the back of his head has been puttied, trying to get this as close to smooth as I can with this glove. All right, and he has fangs, his pretty little fangs, and his eyeballs. So basically, I'm going to take the putty and put it in a glove and throw it away all nice and neat. Also, this is my original cat figure, right? I 3D scanned him, and I just printed him out in black resin today. So at some point in the near future, I'm going to customize that into a Lee Fine circa 1978 figure. So thank you so much, guys. Sorry it took so long today. Hope you're well.